Okay, looks like we're good to go. So we have Antoinette here.
Hello.
She's based in Los Angeles, California,
hmm
and she will be discussing insights that I'll let her discuss with you directly. Antoinette, take it away.
Hi, Josh. Thank you. And I appreciate everybody for listening. My name is Antoinette Ortega. I am the CEO and founder of A Plus Television Incorporated here in Los Angeles, California. We are a social television app building from the ground up, literally. Um, I just want to let you know, like this whole presentation is about how I leverage my story and my relationships here in Los Angeles. I've been in LA for 5 years. I am coming from a social work background. I went to school to be a cop. So my background comes from passion for children, passion for families and communities, and I'm using all of that into what I'm doing with the network. And and as I tell you my story, I want you guys to know that whatever decisions I chose to make and whatever route I chose to go, that was my decision. Yours won't look exactly like mine. You might be able to take a piece of what I've done and what I'm doing now into your own story, but just know that it's your choice and you are empowered to make the decisions however you want to make it. So always keep you in mind first with your passion and what resonates with you personally. So in the beginning, when I first came to LA, my story started in Skid Row, California, and I told my story to whoever would listen, and whoever resonated with me, who would walk with me in that truth. And I had to realize that no relationship I created at that time was too big or too small. It was right where I needed it. The people were exactly the people I needed to talk to, and I had to build relationships at all levels. Um, so the Skid Row story, they actually brought me in. They saw something in me online, and they were like, "We got to talk to her. We got to talk to her." And I was actually couch surfing before that, and then so when they got in touch with me, they're like, "Hey, we need to know who you are, your story." I came to Skid Row and talked to them, and they're like, "Well, you don't have a place to stay. Well, we know the people at the mission. I was at the mission, and I actually still have my thing here. Um, at the mission, the purple badge. So Lady Dee, she walked me to the counselors, and I got a bed the next night there, and it was crazy. But what I did was I made actual relationships with these people. I didn't try to come in and say, hey, this is what I'm going to do and get everything I can from you. I'm going to create friendships out of this. So I can actually go back to Skid Row community and say hi and then remember me and then actually work together on something for the future. Um, and there's another story too. I used to be a Lyft driver for 3 years out here, and like I said, tell your story often. So I was just telling my story to this guy that was in my backseat, really cool guy. And by the end of the drive, he was like, "So do you have like a PayPal or anything?" And I was like, "Yeah, of course." And he gave me $200 by the end of that ride. And come to find out, he was the investor at Grubhub. He gave me his number, so he's also a lifelong relationship that I have in this industry. So you make sure you tell your story constantly, your passion and where it came from. My passion, my vision is all God driven, and know that it comes from a place of great intention, positive intention. Another thing is I backed up my vision with actions. So behind me, you see AOTV Network and my whiteboard, of course. But AOTV Network was the first company I started with the network in mind, and then just evolved to A Plus Television. But I always keep that up. That AOTV Network banner is actually in the Skid Row community. That's where I started. So that's how you know me. But yeah, it doesn't matter how big or small your action is, just at least show them that you're serious about your craft and back that up. So it didn't matter. And then also another thing that I did to help, leverage myself in this industry was I gave myself opportunities for a widened fan base. I started writing for music blogs, fashion blogs. They were in London, all over LA, New York, it was all different locations. So I made sure that my name was found in different areas in the world. Now that I have people calling me from London asking me how we can work together for the future now, I constantly have people in Africa calling me about film opportunities. You really have to put yourself out there. So that's what I did. And that helped me create more industry relationships and create more validity to my story and my passion and my journey. I was able to tell my story through those mediums and create fan base globally. So instead of just working in where I'm at, I always have to think outside of the box. I gave people free opportunities um, without the expectation of getting anything back. I'm a person where I just like to give. I like to give. I like to give, right? And even though I wasn't expecting anything back, I got so much back, tenfold, hundredfold back. Joshua Arma, that's actually how I met him. We met online, and I was working for a magazine in Compton, One West magazine, and I was in the transition of working for someone else's brand and someone else's company, and leaving it and starting on AO. AO is Antoinette Ortega, for short. So this is when I told Joshua, here, take this role, was chief editor job for the magazine. I said, take this because I'm already starting on my own thing. And I wasn't expecting anything back from Joshua at all. Like, at all. I wouldn't say, here, do this, and then I'll do this for you. I just said, here, hey, take it. I have other things going on. And then the universe will always come back around. The universe will always come back around. So we create those real friendships. I don't just call them, relationships for anything. You have to, be a real person, be your authentic you always. And another way I'm starting to realize I can leverage, my contacts is, I guess you could, so to speak, name drop, but at the same time get the people's permission. Hey, can I mention your name while I'm talking to an agency so I can start connecting the dots? I'm a big connect the dot person. And then when you start to have more resources at a higher level, other agencies start to look at you differently and take you more seriously. So I started to realize that, hey, I don't even have money in my account. Like I'm just paying bills right now, guys. As long as bills are paid. But if they see that you actually have people behind you who can actually vouch for you, I can call them up right now. People will take you more seriously instead of just talking about it. Like, hey, I have receipts. I could show you that these people are rocking with me, and they're not just here for the money or not just here for their own gain, but we're here collectively. Like Andrew said, we got to work together. And as far as me on my journey, I've always been the same person. I never, and if I have, please let me know if I switched up. But my whole intention is to be AO, be Antoinette every day, be goofy, funny, be yourself because people will appreciate that. I used to work for TSA as well, security. I used to see celebrities all the time, and it's like they're just another person and another you, just trying to make it. So when it comes to social justice, with this platform, I appreciate it so much because being a social worker, working in the group homes as well in Los Angeles, I'm in South LA. I'm seeing that these kids are very they're illiterate. They don't know how to spell the 4, 5 letter words, but then they can say all of these lyrics to Murder on My Mind and stuff like that, and that really catches me. It's like that's crazy. All the opportunities I had as a kid, these kids don't know nothing about it. So that's why I wanted to create this network to give a platform to the next generation, for education purposes, learning new skills, learning hands on with the ones who created the shows that they grew up on, and we all come together hands on, in the trenches. Like literally, I'm working in the trenches with these kids and these families and educating them. So I'm always open to collaborations. How can we make this work without the investment? Everything I've built. You guys go to aplusTelevision.com. Everything I've built was based off my own vision that I had, and then whoever aligned with that vision stuck with the company. So it's been a blessing. Um, and like I said, I never switch up. And the referrals that I get as well, I make sure that I always give out opportunities to other people. Like today, I met Andrew Weaver, who talked today. I told him about an animation company in the Bay Area. And then I'm telling the animation guy, hey, I told somebody, in the funding area about your company. They're like, I appreciate it. It doesn't take anything. It doesn't take any money just to be kind to somebody, to pass it forward, because we all deserve a chance at the top. We're not, this is not a crabs in a bucket type situation anymore. We're flipping the script. I'm not looking for any validation from Hollywood or from anybody that we see on TV. I'm whoever sees the vision. We work at this together, because it's our time and we deserve it for sure. But yeah, that's all I have for now, Josh. So I appreciate you guys for the
Yes,
opportunity to speak. Thank you.
yes, no, no. Thank you for joining us, Antoinette, and we really appreciate you being a part of this.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I definitely want to commemorate you for sharing your story. And I'm definitely excited to see how we can connect more in the future. So we'll get started with the next session in the next few minutes. So we'll take a quick little break. I'm gonna wrap up this session and then look forward to seeing y'all back in the next 5 minutes.
Awesome.